Hi, this is Yaakov with another video about the My Medical Records Android application and the free HealthTrack.com website. In this video, I'll explain how to track and graph measurements or lab results other than height and weight. Since many of you have asked, I'm going to show how to track and graph blood pressure, which has two numbers, systolic and diastolic pressure, for each observation. However, it's just as simple whether you're tracking one or two values for each observation. You should have already seen the video on how to add and modify stats entries, so if you didn't, please view that one first. Although it's for the sister app called My Baby Book, it works the same. We're starting from the patient screen for Freddie. To get to the stats page, we click on the stats area on the patient summary screen, which right now only shows Freddie's latest height and weight. Now let's start by adding an observation for last month on December 1st, 2012. To do so, we click on the plus at the top of the page. Note the checkbox at the bottom of the screen where it says Add a new item to track. Let's check that. You see two new entries for name and value that show up. This is where we'll create the new item to track for blood pressure. So we're going to type in the name of the item, we'll call it blood pressure, and then the observation that we made, in this case 120/70. We enter that in separating the numbers with a slash. If you were tracking an item that only had one value, just enter the value without a slash. Now I'm going to go change the date to December 1st, 2012. I'll hit save and get back to the stats screen. We can see the information there for December 1st. Now let's enter in another observation by hitting plus again. This time you see that blood pressure is now one of the stats that we're tracking. So let's enter in a new reading, this time for January 1st, a month later, and hit save. Now there's a new entry for the blood pressure, and we can see what it looks like on the graph. So let's hit the graph icon, and you'll see the new item blood pressure appears there. Let's click on that, and we'll see our graph for blood pressure. Now, one last thing about editing old values. Since we didn't enter Freddie's height or weight for January 1st, and I really wanted to do that, I need to edit that entry. So I click on the January 1st entry, and I see the blood pressure item I entered, and now I add the missing information for weight. Now before I hit replace, I just want you to know that you're allowed to change the date of an entry here in case you made a data entry error when you first entered it. But remember not to change it to the same date as another entry that you have, or you'll overwrite that with this one. If you really want to edit a different entry, you should go back to the screen and select that entry and edit that. So now I'll hit replace, and now I can go have more data points for Freddie's weight graph, and I can look at that. That's it for tracking new items or measurements. Thanks for watching.